Episode 17. Folks, welcome to episode 17 of Swiss Link TV. We're so glad you're back with us. And I'm going to get right into it and introduce my longtime friend, colleague from FedEx, Leonard. He's been working with us. He's a representative of the FedEx company. And he's been working with us for, 20 years now?
Yeah,
20 years. And so not only is he, a business partner of ours, but we're also good friends because we know each other for so long. And we're so glad to have him here today. Thank you for coming, Leonard.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's highly appreciated. And, with this show here, we like to talk to local people and find out about different businesses and things that happen around here.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody sees the FedEx truck going by every day of their life, and somehow everybody's involved with FedEx because everybody gets packages. And with the world of internet shopping and everything, more than ever are you and your company in our homes than before.
Yeah, absolutely. We've grown tremendously.
Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Well, we are we've been around since the early 70s, and we provide transportation and logistics services to companies and people all around the world. We're a global company, and we're in a very unique position in that we can provide services in just about any means of transportation, whether it's less than truckload, full truckload, palletized type shipping, air freight, parcel, ground, express. I mean, we pretty much are a one-stop shop, and there aren't too many companies that can say they can do that.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It sure came a long way from the Pony Express.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that. And then, of course, you've been working with FedEx for 22 years now.
Yeah, 22 years this year.
Pretty awesome. That shows a lot, how people must be treated at FedEx.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there must be a good company to work for.
It is. We're consistently ranked in the top 10 of most admired companies in the United States.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great reputation, a great place to work. I think there's over 600,000 employees right now within the company.
600,000.
Yeah, and it's been great to the flexibility of the job, being in sales and just meeting, new people, companies like you guys, and getting to know each other, and like you said, just developing partnerships. That's what we like to do. And, we want to be a consultant. We want to help you guys grow as best we can.
And I can attest to that he always has. If there's been any concerns or anything that we need some advice on or help with, FedEx has always been there without question, which is really awesome. And I got to tell you, in this world today, we try to do that with our customers. I'm from that same family of thought of how to treat customers.
Sure.
And so I really enjoy working with people that think similar and act similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that makes the world go round. And life's too short for anything else, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I think, so tell me what how many customers do you deal with in this? What's your region that you travel?
So I cover anything north of Sacramento, almost to the Oregon border. I also cover to the coast. So I cover Humboldt County, all the way to Crescent City down to past Fortuna, and then as well as Mendocino County as well. So Fort Bragg, Mendocino, Ukiah, Willits. So I've got a pretty large geographic territory, but it's great. I love, doing the drives. There's some beautiful parts of the country up here. And, but yeah, it's really exciting. We touch all sorts of different companies, whether it's industrial, e-com, wineries, food, a lot of foodstuffs companies, and companies like you guys. I mean, the military surplus is a wonderful industry for you guys, and just to be able to be involved in that, it's pretty exciting.
Well, it's just so great because we're a small potato company. We're a certified small business. I don't even know, or probably a miniature business. They probably would call us.
You would be classified as small to medium size.
Small to medium. Okay, there we go.
But I don't think you're small.
No. But, every time I look at the mirror, I don't agree with that either. But it's just so great that we can still get great attention and care, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
And we're the same way, folks. It doesn't matter if you buy an item for 50 cents or $50,000. We try to hopefully treat them the same way, right? I mean, it's not all about the dollar always. It's about quality of life too. So that's really important.
Absolutely.
And so I have to bring it up. I know you probably heard it a million times. Don't even want to hear it. But the Tom Hanks movie. What did I do for FedEx? You were there when that happened, working for FedEx.
I actually, I don't know. I think I came on just when it came out.
Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was pretty interesting that originally our CEO, Fred Smith, who's now retired, but he's the one that founded the company. He originally did not want to do the movie.
Really?
And the primary reason was that he did not want to show a FedEx plane crashing.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it just wasn't a good look for the company.
That's a good concern.
And so after a while, they decided, well, let's just go ahead and do it. And it turned out to be a boon for the company. I mean, so much exposure. It ended up really being a huge factor in our growth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was amazing. People still talk about it today.
Oh, who doesn't say Wilson as soon as they see a volleyball?
Sure. Yeah.
I sometimes when I see a ball somewhere, I want to paint a face on him.
Right. I think they actually manufacture
they do.
a volleyball with Wilson's face on it and distribute it. In fact, one of the stations that I visit had one of those volleyballs.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. With Wilson on it. So
it's amazing how things happen like that.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was, of course, a genius movie, and I probably watched it one time too many. But, every couple of years I have to rewatch it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you another interesting story. So Fred Smith went to Yale in college, and he wrote a paper in his business class. I think it might have been his economics class. I'm not sure, but he wrote it about the whole business plan of starting FedEx. And the professor returned it to him and gave him a C. And he said, "This will never work." And so, so he ended up,
that's awesome.
pursuing it anyways. And
lo
and behold, it turned out to be this big successful company. But
that's
I thought that was pretty
the Einstein effect. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to, they have a business and they want to look in getting a FedEx account, where do they go to do that? Is that it's at FedEx.com, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very
Follow
easy.
the links.
Yeah, it's very easy to get set up an account. You can just go right to FedEx.com and request an account. So you can just sign up right there. And then you can just direct, if you want, pricing on your account, you can just submit a request. And then whatever, level your account would be at, they'll have a representative reach out to you.
Awesome.
And be able to get some rates on your account. So it's a very simple process.
I highly recommend it. I'm not going to diss any other transportation systems out there in the world, but I'm a FedEx fan.
Well, they don't have a Leonard, so
they don't have a Leonard. Exactly. I tell you, it makes a big difference. So we're so excited, and you of course get exposed to all kinds of different businesses.
Yeah.
Once you told me about some beer company that ships beer all the way to Japan or China. And I mean, the stories of things that I've learned from you that are around here is like, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea these businesses exist.
Absolutely. You'd be shocked of how many different things.
From all the way from home cottage businesses to hidden warehouses that nobody knows about, that do stuff that nobody wants to talk about, all the way to, I mean, there's a lot of businesses.
Absolutely.
It just always amazes me when I hear about another business in this town. And sometimes I wish there'd be, like, if anybody's listening, some kind of a club that's not necessarily affiliated with some, other club. Just business owners meet once a quarter or something. Yeah, that's a coffee shop somewhere. Sure. I'll start that. If anybody wants to join me, just contact me at maurice@swisslink.com. If you're a local business in Butte County or Tehama County, anywhere like that, and want to do that, I will start it up. I'll start a club, and we can meet every quarter or every month, depending on how much fun we're having, at some coffee shop somewhere and just discuss, how do we squeeze Leonard for more discounts and we'll gang up on him, or, just in general, what we know works for us, and maybe some tips from you guys. I think that would be a great thing. So Maurice.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, Maurice at swisslink.com. I'm going to start. Thanks for inspiring me on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I've learned in this business never to judge a book by its cover. You just never know what sort of company is going to pop out. I mean, I've worked with some companies that started out in their garages and then ended up being these, $100 million companies starting from a garage. It's just these amazing stories.
That's fantastic.
And, and just, I guess one piece of advice is, regarding your transportation, whether you're a small company or if you're a large company, is try to, keep tabs on your transportation expenses. Don't treat it like a utility. And that's what I see a lot.
Oh, really?
Is companies just, they get their bill. They're like, oh, our packages are getting where they need to go. There's no hassles. And they just, write the check every month. And literally you should be looking at your transportation costs at least every couple of years at the minimum.
Yeah.
I've got companies that, the other thing is, don't try to burn your bridges on one carrier and another. There's only so many transportation carriers in the world.
Right.
Typically, you've got us, you've got UPS, and the post office. Those are probably the three main ones that people in the United States see most of the time. And if you don't have relationships with all three, you're really hurting yourself as a company because, when it comes time to negotiation, if you're not doing business with one, you've pretty much lost 33% of your leverage of negotiation. And I've seen it, time and time again. I've had companies where we did proposals and we were completely ignored. And I'll give one example of a company that we tried to get in and do a proposal for. And, we never heard back from them. And then a year later, we came back in and went through another contact. And then once they did the analysis, they were saving over multi-six figures annually.
Holy man.
Just by actually doing the numbers. And they could have had it a year prior. Jeez. And I'm like, that's pretty significant.
That's very significant.
So I understand, loyalty. There's nothing I like more than being loyal, but I think just having a smart business sense. And just always look at, especially if your transportation costs run at least 5% of your overall revenue. If you're spending at least 5% on transportation, you should be looking at it at least every 2 years.
That's some very good advice. Yeah. And we've learned that transportation can make and break us. Yeah. Everybody's now doing this free shipping thing, right? Yeah. So the transportation's coming out of our pocket. And so it's really important. Yeah. It makes a big difference, not only for cost, but sometimes, the deal doesn't happen if it's just too much, right? Yep. So you have to really check and make sure that you're using the right. Yeah. There's so many different tools. A
lot of variables. Yeah.
In each of these places, you have to make sure that you type in, or that you use the right weight box. Maybe sometimes one box is too heavy, and there's this dimensional weight thing. Yeah. It's cheaper to ship it with two boxes. So to have a partner that explains all this to you, and not only expect somebody to explain to you, but research it. How much that can save. Like we learned, for example, our blanket boxes were 52 pounds. Right. And they were 3 pounds too heavy. Because if you get over a 50-pound box, suddenly there's these extra fees. Yep. Where if we just ship one blanket less in that same box, it'd be 49 pounds. It makes a big difference in savings. So we asked our vendor for the next shipment, which is coming 3 days from now. They're all going to be 49-pound boxes. Perfect. We're only putting 9 blankets instead of 10 blankets in. So
and those are the little things like that. Little things like that. They add up. And
if you look at the whole container, there's a savings of probably $10,000.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a lot of money in the big picture of things. And, a lot of money. And, everything's becoming globalized. And you guys are really on the forefront of that. I mean, there a lot of the barriers in the past where companies were hesitant to ship out of the country due to, it's complicated. There's like duties and taxes. There's, clearance fees. There are a lot of things that go involved. Well, nowadays there are software programs out there that are going to make things very easy for anybody within our country to be able to ship out of the country very easy, very simply. The programs and groups will pretty much handle all the work for you. And it takes that risk of you of worrying, is it going to get stuck somewhere? Right. Am I going to have this massive, tax bill, later on after I've already done the transaction? Right. So overall, most companies now really need to start thinking globally and not just domestically.
And I tell you, the inequity of our exports versus what we import, it's being addressed, so we have to prepare ourselves for that. We're going to do more exports. Yeah. We need to do more exports, as compared to what the imports are. Right. So that's, always going to be working parallel with how much easier it keeps getting.
Yeah. It's pretty, you're saying that everything's getting very global right now. It's amazing how much of an impact it can have on, for example, we'd get a container of surplus over from Europe, usually costs us $10,000 or so to get that over. For a while there, shortly after COVID, it was like $30,000-$40,000 to get a container. And when it's $100,000 worth of goods, that's a huge markup on everything.
Yeah.
So, prices everywhere are going up just because of transportation problems.
Absolutely.
On the sea or whatever.
Absolutely.
When the canal was backed up there,
oh my goodness,
that was huge.
Yeah. Those things can certainly impact, the costs, and
you
need to be prepared for that. I mean, tripling your, container costs were devastating, not just for you guys, but for many companies that didn't actually make it. They've actually had to close their doors. Not only could they not afford it, but they couldn't even get it. I mean, because all the ports were clogged.
Yeah.
And the product were weeks and months behind, and they just couldn't, keep their overhead.
It was very tough for us.
Yeah.
We just skated through.
Yeah.
Because we had that exact problem. All our stuff was stuck.
Yep.
And we, our main seller, we couldn't sell, and our customers were knocking on the door, jumping ship, canceling orders.
And it's so hard to get them back.
It costs so much more.
Right.
So much more. They're like, really? Now that it's here, a year later, you want to charge what?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's sticker shock.
It was very tough. For us, the only good thing about during the COVID time is that there was a big demand for what we sell.
Right.
So just the sheer volume of what we had, what we could sell, just kind of skated us through. So for us, it was actually strange because after COVID, there was a slowdown. We got, we were always normal, our normal growth. Then there was COVID. And now it's back to the normal growth.
Right.
And the normal growth suddenly seems so slow.
Right.
Like, wait a minute, what happened? But anyway, about our stuff, we got a bunch of British stuff here, some new stuff, right, that just came in.
I really want to hear a story from the both of you guys since you're both here, actually. This was before I was really super involved with the company, so I didn't really witness it happening, but there was a very extreme last-minute shipment that had to go to a hospital in New York.
Oh my God!
And I've heard the story from Mo so many times, but now that you're both in the same room, I'd love to hear more about that. That was with FedEx and with Leonard, right?
Yeah, we even ended up in the Wall Street Journal because of that. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah,
that was pretty exciting.
I mean, I get a call from General Hospital in New York on a Friday.
Yeah, it was a Friday
at 9 a.m. or something like that. They say, we want 10,000 of your storm bags at our hospital tomorrow at noon. I said, you want what? 10,000, which is 10 pallets, huge 1,200-pound pallets. They wanted those and I said, it's going to cost a lot of money because that's going to have to be flown. They said, money is no object. Leonard! So you got the call.
Yeah, so I got the call from Maurice, and he was like, hey, we got this situation. We have a hospital that's being threatened by storm surge, and I believe it was due to a hurricane. And he was like, what can we do to be able to get these? And obviously it was Friday, and I'm like, well, when do they need them? They need them by tomorrow. I'm like, what? And so
all the way across the country.
So, and 10 pallets. I mean, you're talking, it's going to fill up a plane.
12,000 pounds.
Yeah. And so I reached out to my air freight counterparts. They have a facility in Sacramento, fortunately close to. And I said, hey, we've got an emergency order of 10 pallets. Do we have the lift capability to be able to do that? So they kind of said, oh, well, we're not sure. And they went back and they did some logistics and moved around, and they're like, well, we can do it, but you need to be down here by 5 p.m. by the end of the day, Friday. So, and we had already missed the cutoff for a truck to be able to come up and pick it up. So Maurice had to provide his own transportation. I think he rented
trying to find a truck
that would fit 10 pallets.
I couldn't rent one.
Right.
Like rent trucks?
No, I couldn't. I called everybody around here. There was no truck that I could rent.
Yeah.
And so I called up my buddy at Surplus City in Oroville. I know that he had a flatbed.
Right.
And I said, Steve, I need some help.
Yeah.
I said, I need a flatbed and the fastest driver you've ever hired. And I need to race up to my warehouse now, load 10 pallets and take it.
Yeah, this was in Paradise.
Yes, we were
at the time, and so he had to be in Sacramento by 5 p.m. I think the truck rolled up at 4:59.
Yes,
just as the gates were closing.
The gates were closing, and they said, "Please let us in."
Yeah, and so they let him in, and then we have what's called an F1 service, which is 1 day air freight service. We got him on the plane, flew over, landed the next morning, got them unloaded and delivered them to the hospital, I think before noon.
Yeah, like 10 to noon.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
I think before noon on Saturday.
Yeah.
They were able to get the product and get it distributed. So
Yeah.
it was a fantastic win for everybody. We were able to pull that off. And I guess at the time there was a Wall Street Journal reporter.
I get a call the next day, on Monday. This lady says, I'm with the Wall Street Journal. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, we can't afford to advertise the Wall Street Journal. You know, I thought it was an advertised salesperson. She said, no. The door should be knocking about right now. Somebody's knocking on my door. And I said, who's that? She said, that's a photographer. Photographer? Yes, we're putting an article in tomorrow in the Wall Street Journal about your storm bags that ended up in New York. So let's start talking.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the photographer was already there.
Yeah.
They're pretty quick.
Right.
So we did an interview. The guy took some pictures. And literally, the episode was on Wednesday when they printed it. Or episode, I say episode. The print came out on Wednesday. We were like a half-page article about our what we did together at the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah. Yeah. FedEx really enjoyed that.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad that FedEx got to... they can put that in their storybook.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great
win. You can use it anytime if they want to.
Well, that's great.
And to protect the hospital too, you know.
Protect the hospital.
Yeah. I mean, and that really is a demonstration of how FedEx puts, our whole motto is FedEx cares. And, that's what we're all about, is doing what's right for the customer, not necessarily for profitability, but hey, doing what we can.
They did a lot of extra help. And there's another time where FedEx helped, and I don't know if you remember that one, if that was before. I can't remember what year that was, but and FedEx flew it for free. Now, it's not something that I organized, but I got a call from a group of doctors. Pakistan had a horrible earthquake in the winter, and people were literally freezing to death, and they needed clothes. And they had a problem with some of the tribes there in the mountains and the region that this was going on, that they wouldn't just wear anything. It had to be something that was a little bit similar to what they're used to wearing. They just someone just didn't want to wear a Western clothes, even though they were cold. I don't know if it was why exactly, but anyway, those doctors called me and says, "Listen, do you have anything you could help us with?" Well, we happen to have 10,000 Swiss black, long to the knees, kind of what they were liners meant for their wool coats for extreme cold weather. And they were quilted and they were long and they had pockets and you could button and close them. And they were a nice warm piece of equipment that I didn't have to pay too much for them. I think they cost me only, by the time I had them in the warehouse, like maybe $15,000 for all 10,000 of them. And I donated them to these doctors, and they worked together with FedEx, got a whole cargo plane from FedEx. And because a lot of the stuff that went to the places like that for help never got to where it's supposed to go.
Right.
So these doctors said they're going to take it from me with FedEx to Pakistan. And then they're flying in their plane. They're getting out. They're going to get in the trucks and drive them to these people.
Wow.
Like they're going with the goods.
They're going with the goods. And
That's
FedEx
great.
did that.
Yeah,
And me and a lot of other people filled up a plane with cold weather stuff that they would need and supplies. FedEx flew it for free, all the way to Pakistan, and delivered it. So this is twice now that I've worked with FedEx.
That's a wonderful story.
Where something like this has happened. So people, do I need to say more?
Yeah.
Leonard did not pay us for this episode, I swear.
This is not a paid plug.
No, these are things that happened, and I was extremely happy to be able to provide the clothes for the people, but I would have never been able to get them there. It already cost me quite a penny to give them away for free. There's no way I could have afforded to ship them to the people. So it was a whole cargo plane full of stuff that people donated. And these doctors actually went with their medical equipment and all this goods in trucks and delivered to those villages. That was pretty awesome.
That is.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff going on in this world, which is great. Yeah. And
I think it's time we talk about some surplus.
Yeah, we got a lot of British stuff in recently. Well, I hate to say that we got it in a while back.
We got this stuff I hate to admit it also, but like in 2019.
Would you believe it?
And we've gotten so many new things in since then that we haven't had the time to sort through this container. It was a big load of, it was a whole shipping container of mixed stuff.
Oh, okay.
We didn't know what it was. I just paid for pounds.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And it was just on the bottom of our to-do list for a long time.
It was kind of on the bottom to-do list because it's a very hard container to get through. Where everybody's so busy that literally we didn't get this thing done until about a week ago.
Oh, okay.
From 2019. So
is British the UK a common place to get military? Because
absolutely, yeah. They have a huge military. You know, they have their noses in a lot of places. They're involved around the world. You know, they've always been.
They've got really nice stuff,
and they got some of the best stuff in the world.
Okay,
I mean, they got experience, combat proven, and they really issue their soldiers the best stuff. I would probably have to think, from what I know, you know, some of the best stuff soldier gets issued in the world
because they're involved around the world, kind of in the way that the U.S. is. They have stuff in a lot of different environments. So this is like MTP pattern. This is woodland pattern. They've got cold weather gear. They've got tropical gear. They've got everything.
This, for example, is their tropical MTP shorts with cargo pockets. That's going to be a very, very popular item. You know, first of all, it's a shorts with cargo pockets. Who doesn't love that? And then it's military grade, huge pockets, and you know, awesome zippers, incredible quality. It's got the MTP. What is that?
Multi-terrain pattern.
Multi-terrain pattern, which is very popular, and it's got button-up pockets in the back, and it's got cinch belts here to make it, you know, a little tighter if you want with the buttons. I mean, it's an incredible short. So find them at swisslink.com. You can't miss it.
Combat shorts.
And look at that. This is an extra large. I don't know how many extra larges we have, but it's not often that you get big sizes too. So this is really awesome, folks. Go in and get them before they're gone. We're not going to have many because that was just a mixed container of so many things. And then, of course, the British also have a cold weather hat. Like right here, this has got a fleece lining. So that'll keep you really warm when they were up in those Afghan mountains or wherever they were in the cold weather. They were issued these. So not only do you have a little holder here so it doesn't fly off, you also have the ear flaps for the warmth and the sunshade, and it's in a DPM woodland pattern. And back here, I'm not sure what that is for. That must be for some attachment of some sort. It's kind of cool.
Well, you can tighten it. It's like a
it's
like a snapback for a hat or something.
Oh, I get it. Now I see it. Yeah, you pull it. Oh, yeah. So you can tighten that so it won't fly off. Plus, you have this, so you're secured. And then CoolMax, I think, is one of the greatest materials ever made. Football players, race car drivers, all kinds of people that are going to be under real hot conditions and can't get out in an air conditioner or anything are issued this CoolMax. I think it started with racing. That's where they started coming up with this. And it's a shirt that'll literally wick the sweat and keep it on the outside and act as a coolant, basically. So your own sweat cools you down with the shirt. So that's why it's called CoolMax. It's a very high-tech shirt. You can't tell from looking at it, but if you get a closer look, you can kind of see what kind of weave it is. It's one of the most comfortable shirts ever, and it totally works like a thermal. It's almost like, you know, I don't know if anybody's seen the Dune movies, Dune 1 or 2, the desert suit, you know. I thought that was the coolest part about the whole Dune movie was those desert suits, you know.
Where's the tube that they can drink water from?
Yeah, they need to drink water from and pee into and filter and all that stuff. But no, these don't do quite that. This is from a different dimension.
Yeah.
But these are really cool. So CoolMax.
I was at Dick's Sporting Goods the other day, and they had a whole section. I think it was Nike, but they were like CoolMax branded shirts.
Yeah.
They were CoolMax, and they were expensive.
Oh yeah,
and it
very
was like
expensive.
Literally just this shirt, but it was like $50 or something.
Sure.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But you can find them for military surplus prices at
swisslink.com.
All right.
There's also a V-neck sweater there.
Yes, a V-neck sweater.
I think that is it.
Yeah.
Right? This is a navy blue V-neck sweater. We've got, you know, quite a few different types of sweaters. On the website right now. But that's
check them out. The sweaters are always nice to have. This one's almost like a wool fleece blend. It's very comfortable.
That's something you can wear on night on the town.
Absolutely.
It's great.
It's very
design.
fashionable.
Yeah, very.
And you know, a lot of times the uniforms are part of a dress uniform also. You know, so this would be something in
it's
that
very
vein.
soft.
Isn't that soft? That's
Mm-hmm.
very, very soft. Yeah. What's the material? I can't tell what it says.
Oh, yeah, you're rolling the
let me
dice
see.
with that. Definitely wool. There's some wool in there, I think.
Pretty sure it's wool.
People often think about military surplus and they expect stuff like this.
Oh, you know what?
You know, camouflage and stuff.
Would you believe what this one is?
We have a lot of really comfortable, good-looking stuff. But don't put it in the dryer.
100% cotton.
Okay.
That's
wow.
a rare thing to find something 100% cotton.
Yeah. Boy,
This
that
is awesome.
Really
I had no idea.
Feels great.
That's why it feels so comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Folks, if they have some of my size, I'm buying a dozen of them, so you better buy it now because this is awesome. I didn't realize that was 100% cotton. That's why it's so comfortable.
That explains it.
Yeah.
And we've got these rucksacks in. These are interesting
Oh,
because they're sort of a smaller, shorter shape design. But this is also British. It's all British stuff we're talking about today. This is a 30-liter rucksack with some big side pouches. We got a little bit of MOLLE attachments on the front, top pockets. Everything it's faded, right, and old, and got that used look, but everything's in good working condition. And it can be expanded to be rather large as well. So if you're looking for a good backpack for hiking or whatever,
High quality,
and you don't want to pay $400, consider military surplus because you get stuff like this for really good prices, and it's going to be comfortable. And
you know, you would be hard pressed to find a civilian version of a backpack that's that good quality.
Mm-hmm.
And these are meant to.
Are these water resistant too?
They always are water resistant. They're not waterproof.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There's also waterproof covers that they issued for that. But yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff.
That one might have YKK zippers too.
I was going to say the YKK zipper.
Yeah.
If you're always looking for quality,
Mm-hmm.
the zipper is the first place you want to look. And and YKK is the premier zipper brand. If people aren't aware of that, so if you're like not sure of the level of quality, if it says YKK, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a quality product.
Exactly. Yeah, they only use YKK.
Yeah,
for the military ones.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So these are just some of the new things. These are all going to be found on the new arrivals section of our site. I'm going to try every week during the show to just talk about our new arrivals.
Yes, because you guys won't believe it. Now that we finally opened up some of these containers and went through them, we have a lot of new arrivals every day.
Yeah, there's new stuff every single day on our site now.
Every day. So don't stop surfing. Don't stop believing. You'll find something new every time. Okay, I know.
I was not going to finish that song.
Yeah. So anyway, don't stop believing that there's always something new and great here at SwissLink TV. Leonard, thank you so much for
having
coming
me
today.
It was wonderful.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
and folks, we appreciate it that you've tuned in again today. And I know we will see you back on episode 18, and you'll see some new items. Thank you so much.
Peace out.
Peace out.